It's 31st of August, the end of the month, and you're watching this episode of Rock the Block Daily with me, Eugene Tay. This episode was brought to you by our partners over at WANCHAIN, the world's first cross-chain solution for financial infrastructure. Today, I have a WANCHAIN news for you guys. WANCHAIN has just joined the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance to accelerate adoption alongside the most innovative blockchain startups and leading global enterprises. As a member of the Enterprise Ethereum Alliance, WANCHAIN will be able to collaborate with industry leaders from around the globe to bring the best practices to enterprise technology, open standards, and open source reference architectures. By leveraging the WANCHAIN network and working within the EEA, the WANCHAIN Foundation is paving the way towards an interoperable future. All that and more can be found in the link below. In fact, WANCHAIN 3.0 is coming to us very soon. Next week, we are testing cross-chain for Bitcoin. More on that news in the weeks to come. But on to today's daily news. First up on the headlines, we have Ethereum. Ethereum network is due for a second phase of their system-wide upgrade called Constantinople. This is due before October's DEFCON 4 Ethereum conference. Just to rejig your memory, last year in October, Ethereum had their first phase upgrade called Byzantine. All this is part of their Metropolis roadmap. Anyway, the Constantinople upgrade will include further optimization to the platform, making it more efficient and, more importantly, less costly in terms of transaction fees. Still, this upgrade requires the collaboration of various stakeholders, the miners, the owners, everyone down from the foundation to you guys. You guys are considered stakeholders, and it's important for your vote to come in. And that's why Ethereum has encoded a difficulty bomb in their Ethereum blocks that will be due sometime in early 2019. This code planted is meant to force everyone to quickly adopt new technologies, so you can think of it as a kind of reset. If stakeholders cannot come to a consensus, the difficulty bomb will activate, pushing Ethereum into what we call the Ice Age, a period where difficulty is so high the transactions on the network can no longer be processed. At present, there are 6 different kinds of Ethereum proposals for improvement. EIPs under discussion. One EIP 1234 promotes miner rewards to 2 Ethereum per block, while EIP 1227 promotes miner rewards to 5 Ethereum per block. This is critical, especially when it comes to some camps favoring ASICs miners versus GPU-based mining. Some other EIP proposes to remove the Ice Age difficulty bomb entirely, but so far we have not come to a consensus or an agreement to which EIP to follow. Looks like Apple is also jumping on the bandwagon to ban crypto stuff, and this time it's banning it in the form of in-app accesses to crypto collectibles. The forthcoming video game called War Riders, which will appear on Coinbase Wallet, was quickly withdrawn from the App Store. The Android app, however, remains. In War Riders, players drive around an apocalyptic wasteland, building up armies or vehicles, something like Mad Max. The vehicles represented by non-fungible tokens or NFTs on the blockchain. War Riders, however, isn't the only game that sells NFTs. In fact, crypto games these days comes in the form of NFTs such as CryptoKitties and the upcoming Gods Unchained and many others that is slated to come out in 2019 as well, which you can access via wallets like Trust, IM Token, and so on. In Mediasizing the Regulators, Chinese and Singaporean companies operating in ICT and media can now look forward to a new fund called China-Singapore ICM Joint Innovation Development Fund. What this fund does is cover technologies such as blockchains, IoT, and artificial intelligence, augmented reality, and robotics. This fund is created under an MOU between Enterprise Singapore, IMDA, and Chongqing Economy and Information Technology Commission. Amazon Web Service. It seems that you have a competition with a new kid in town, or at least until the mainnet launches end of this year. Dfinity Foundation has just made some news when it announced that it's now worth $2 billion. Dfinity is created by Google, Microsoft, and Intel engineers and boasts big-name private investors like Anderson Horowitz, called A16Z, Polychain Capital and Shapeshift CEO Eric Voorhees. What's the big deal? Andreessen Horowitz is a private VC firm founded by the guys of the same name, Mark Andreessen and Ben Horowitz, who are also investors in companies like Skype, Twitter, and Facebook, Airbnb, and Coinbase. So if these guys are attracted to a project like Dfinity, you know that they have their eye on something big in the future. Dfinity plans to launch what is called the world's first internet computer, where developers do not need to rely on third-party centralized cloud platforms like AWS to build and host their apps, but instead use WebAssembly and host their apps direct from browser, which is being powered through the internet computer. Dfinity testnet is already running and they are not going to ICO. But really, considering the amount of money they have, they don't need to ICO. Early this year, they did airdrop for early supporters and developers. And that's all the news we have for you today on Rock the Block Daily. I'll see you guys back here again next week on Monday with more daily news updates. This is Eugene Tay signing out.